Hello,
Good morning.
Woke up to news of all kinds of people with the coronavirus, and in fact, Ghana's case was confirmed. I think 9 p.m. or 9:30.
Late last
Yeah, it was a live Facebook address with the Minister of Health. We have that for you. Then we have some high-profile people, Canadian president's wife,
Sophie Trudeau,
and some senior person in Brazil, who apparently met Mr. Trump not too long ago.
Wow.
And then all kinds of footballers.
Kellam Hudson-Odoi of
Chelsea,
Mikel Arteta, Arsenal manager.
Coach. Some people have been
three Leicester City players. Their names have not been mentioned.
It's unbelievable. So the newspapers don't really have that. So what I'm going to do with the review this morning is to read the online stories, because the websites, because of the way we work, and because of the how shall I say, because of the news cycle, we have those stories. So let me start with a story by Jude Duncan, coronavirus. In fact, he has two stories. One says Ghana confirms cases of coronavirus, and the other one says 2 cases involve a top Norwegian embassy official and a Turkish citizen.
The Daily Graphic also has that.
Okay, good one. So they have been able to get this. So
that's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. That's on page 2. Okay. The other ones, I don't know if we should.
Let's just read it. Before I read it, and I'll give you the audio of the minister's
voice. Let's just go with coronavirus. Today's edition is a little off center, but anyway, Ghana has confirmed its first cases of the coronavirus COVID-19. The reported cases from 2 persons from Turkey and Norway were announced by the Minister of Health, Mr. Quao, yesterday. He said the confirmation of the cases was made yesterday by the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. He was supported by the Minister of Information, Mr. Kojo Opon Nkrumah, and the Health Minister said that the patients were currently being kept in isolation while processes had been initiated to trace any contacts they might have had with people, adding that the patients were in stable condition. So he also goes, I'm sure we'll play the audio, but he went on to provide some helplines and telephone numbers.
But what we have in addition to what they have is, we know now that a top Norwegian embassy official and a Turkish citizen are the 2. So Citi News sources have confirmed Ghana's first 2 imported cases of coronavirus are indeed foreign nationals. According to our sources, one is a senior official at the Norwegian embassy in Ghana, whereas the other is a Turkish citizen. Now, here's what the minister said during the live broadcast.
The Minister of Health has confirmed 2 cases of COVID-19. The cases were confirmed on the 12th of March, that is today, 2020. And the first cases to be reported in Ghana. Laboratory results of the 2 confirmed cases were received at the same time from the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. Both individuals returned to Ghana, one from Norway and the other from Turkey. So these are imported cases of COVID-19. Both patients are currently being kept in isolation and are stable. We have initiated processes for contact tracing. I wish to assure Ghanaians that the government of Ghana, together with all health partners, will continue to work assiduously to ensure the situation is contained. We wish to encourage every Ghanaian to take care of their health and that of their families by adhering to the following precautionary measures: regular and thorough washing of hands with soap under running water and use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Avoid shaking of hands. Keep a distance of at least 2 meters from a person with fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. It is advisable to be physically active, drink plenty of water, eat healthy, avoid stress, and have enough sleep. Stay home if you feel unwell with symptoms of fever, cough, and difficulty in breathing, and call the following numbers immediately: 050-949-7700, 055-843-9868. I would like to repeat the numbers: 050-949-7700, 055-843-9868.
That was Kweku Agyeman, the Minister for Health, and a few more stories here. So the ministry is now doing what it calls contact tracing. And the story is also here on citinewsroom.com. The health ministry has initiated processes to trace persons who might have come in contact with the 2 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ghana. The 2 who returned to Ghana from Norway and Turkey tested positive. So apart from the test, there's the contact tracing, there's the isolation, and then there's the other protocols announced. Now, let's look at domestic implications. Citibusinessnews.com. The pandemic will affect our 2020 FDI targets. This is GIPC UOF grant saying this on citibusinessnews.com. It says the partial slowdown in some economic activities will likely have an adverse effect on Ghana's FDI, and then in terms of global flights and other things. Then if you move internationally, it's what a night. I mean, Canada's prime minister's wife has been diagnosed positive, and the prime minister himself will take a 14-day quarantine, but he will not take a test because he's not showing symptoms, and he will work from home. So and then the Brazilian president is being tested after an aid test positive. Australia to stop gatherings of 500 or more people, not including transport or schools. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, Chelsea player Callum Hudson-Odoi catch virus. And then in terms of implications, Asian markets are swinging badly. Singapore to deny entry to some travelers from Europe. India report its first death, and featuring on the BBC, Ghana and Gabon report first cases. This is a wrap of the corona situation. We'll be updating listeners throughout the day.
Now, on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times, coronavirus scare, no handshake in Parliament, Speaker orders MPs. So, Parliament has introduced a no handshake policy on the floor of the House to avert the possible infection of the possible spread of the coronavirus during the course of business. Additionally, hand sanitizers have been placed at vantage points for use by everybody within the premises of the House as one of the preventive measures. Now, the Ghana Tourism Authority boss is also urging people to stop spreading fake news about the coronavirus.
Okay.
Ghanaians have been advised to desist from spreading false information about the coronavirus. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mr. Kwesi Agyeman, who gave the advice at a press conference on COVID-19 in Accra yesterday, said spreading false information or fake news about the virus could scare people and tourists from visiting service delivery institutes and tourist
And then when you
centers.
go to the live corona tracker, 134,113 confirmed cases globally, 4,968 reported deaths, so it's nearing 5,000. 67,003 have recovered.
Yes.
So the recovery rate is pretty good.
And I feel that those are some of the things that must be highlighted very well. That
Yes.
there are those who are recovering, and a good number of people have recovered.
Yes, and most of those who die are usually either not well in other conditions or very
They are
old.
very old.
Let's talk about other things.
Yes, just one last thread. 2 things, quick points on coronavirus. Judge worried over coronavirus as accused go to Nigeria.
Oh, please.
So a court of appeal judge, Justice Bright Mensah, has expressed worry over the decision by the former second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson P.S. Siama, to travel to Nigeria at the time the country has recorded cases of the deadly coronavirus COVID-19, which has been declared a pandemic by the WHO. Dr. Siama is on trial together with some 5 others for allegedly causing financial loss to the state. Had applied for his passport, which he deposited with the court registrar as part of his bail conditions. Now, if you go to Senegal, they are saying that rapid test kits for COVID-19 to be made there. Now, the kits will determine or will diagnose the COVID-19 or coronavirus within 10 minutes and are being developed in a lab in Senegal's capital, Dakar.
Let's go to one story which we can link to yesterday's discussion on buses and procurement. Government procures 840 pickup trucks, 350 buses, 2,000 motorbikes for Education Ministry. Now, the story says the Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, has handed over 365 double-cabin pickup trucks, 493 motorbikes to officials of the Ministry of Education in fulfillment of President Akufo-Addo's commitment to ensure that the education sector is adequately resourced to deliver improved learning outcomes. The vehicles and motorbikes are part of a total of 840 trucks, 350 buses and 2,000 motorbikes procured by the government through the GETS Fund to retool and resource Ghana's education sector. 260 of the pickups are being allocated to all MMD ACE offices to support their management and supervision. Now, in addition, 350 buses, 133-seater and 250 66-seater will be distributed to senior high schools across the country to facilitate better teaching and learning outcomes. Yesterday, I engaged somebody on this bus issue, and I was like, when did we know we were going to buy buses? When did we start the planning? And could we have factored in my new plan and our new plan conversation into this whole thing?
About this. Anyway, more stories from Nathan.
If you go to the front page of the Daily Graphic, it says accident vehicle imports banned. Parliament amends Customs Act 2015. Story by Nana Konedo Ajiman. It says Parliament yesterday passed the Customs Amendment Bill 2020 that bans the importation of accident and salvage motor vehicles into the country. The act amends the Customs Act 2015 Act 891. The banned vehicles comprise wrecked, destroyed, or those physically damaged by collision, fire, water, or other occurrences, as well as specified motor vehicles that are over 10 years of age. The act also increases the import duties on specific motor vehicles and provide import duty exemptions for the security agencies and officers of the security service, especially those who go on various assignments and peacekeeping peacekeeping in the interest of the country's security. Now, if you stay with the Daily Graphic, there's a very interesting picture on the front page. It says endangering human lives.
Okay.
So there's a tipper truck that has a load which is tilting the truck in one direction, and there's a taxi cab with loaves of bread
In the boot.
in the boot or the storage
The way we
area.
convey food in Ghana leaves much to be desired.
That's on page 20. So for those who are
Kojo, back to you.
go through.
Yes, let's go to the energy sector. Fuel prices likely to go down next week. This is the energy minister. In the
Okay.
Citi breakfast news as well, he said that Dumso is not coming back and that the West Africa gas pipeline issues have been resolved and there is enough money for the energy sector, so Dumso is not coming back. Now, the Ghanaian Times says prices of fuel at the pumps in the country are likely to be reduced between 10 and 15% next week. The energy minister, John Peter Amewu, has announced. He said the exact percentage would be known next week when the second pricing window opens and prices of fuel are reviewed in line with existing petroleum price formula. He told journalists in Accra yesterday that the price per regulation policy that has existed in the country since 2015, he says, per the regulation policy that has existed in the country since 2015, the reduction of fuel prices had not been a prerogative of the government, but by a deregulated.
Now, let me give you a few stories
market.
that will be concerning to you. Flights to be disrupted soon by aviation workers' protest over encroachment of companies' lands. Story by Pius Emiri Reduku, CitiNewsroom.com says the Union of and professional associations within the Civil Aviation Authority have hinted of possible disruption to flight operations from Monday, March 17, 2020. The association is set to withdraw some services which are critical to aviation safety. This is in reaction to what the workers describe as the inability of management to heed their concerns about the encroachment of some aviation lands at La Wireless and in Kwantana in Accra. Spokesperson for the workers, William Amuakun, who confirmed the action to be carried out, told Citi Business News the decision has become necessary due to some field negotiations with authorities to resolve their concerns. Then, the other story in the power sector, Chamber of IPPs kicks against government plan to buy some of them with 2 billion energy fund. Story by the same Pius on Citi Business News says the Chamber of Independent Power Producers, Distributors and Bulk Consumers, CIPDIP, wants the government to reconsider its decision to use a proposed $2 billion energy sector fund to refinance the existing debt and buy up some independent power producers. The chamber contends that the move will not augur well for the country's energy sector, as it is likely to face drawbacks should it be left in the hands of the state entity. A statement outlining the concerns of the chamber suggests that the proposed fund should be used to settle the outstanding gap in the capacity charges which have accrued since the PURC has not been allowed to input the charge and set realistic tariffs for electricity.
Now, the Gold Street business, prices of local goods increasing faster than imported goods.
Okay.
Now, the story says for a fourth consecutive month, inflation for locally produced goods has been growing faster than inflation for imported goods, although Ghana is an import-dependent country. Inflation for imported goods as at February was 5.9%, well below the 8.6% inflation for locally made goods. This is according to the latest data released by the Ghana Statistical Service.
There's a very interesting story on CNN that is suggesting that the Russian trollers are targeting Ghanaian and Nigerian social media accounts. Now, then this is for both Facebook and Twitter. Now, the story is saying that Facebook and Twitter have already been looking into some of the troll accounts when CNN notified the two companies of their investigation. In a statement Thursday, Facebook said its subsequent assessment benefited from their collaboration with a team of journalists at CNN, and that it had removed 49 Facebook accounts, 69 pages, and 85 Instagram accounts for engaging in foreign interference from Russia. Facebook said this network was in early stages of audience building and was operated by local nationals, witting and unwitting, in Ghana and Nigeria on behalf of individuals in Russia. It targeted primarily the United States. Facebook says about 13,200 Facebook accounts followed one or more of the Ghana account, and around 263,000 people followed one or more of the Instagram accounts, about 65% of whom were in the US. So basically, the CNN has been doing a story to try and find out more about the so-called hacking of the US election and the activities of hackers and trollers in Russia. And they're basically saying that Russian election meddling is back via Ghana and Nigeria and could be in feeds of Facebook users in the US. Very interesting analysis by this CNN reporter.
Now, there was a big demo at Tain, and the Weekend Crusading Guide has the story. Says hundreds of cashew farmers have demonstrated at Nsoko, the Tain district capital in the Bono region, against a drastic fall in cashew prices. The price for a kilo fell from 8 cedis at the beginning of the crop season to 3 Ghana cedis, Bernard. And it is likely to fall during the peak of the season in April. The farmers blamed the low price on the continuous importation of the cashew from neighboring Côte d'Ivoire, where the price is low due to poor quality of cashew in their country. The farmers also accused the buyers of contributing to cheat the farmers to serve their interest. The chairman of the Tain District District Cashew Farmers Association, Alex Bonsu, told the New Crusading Guide that they will do anything they can to get the government to address these issues. Bernard, some time ago we used to sell a bag of cashew for 800 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And the thing dropped to about 250 Ghana cedis. Increased to 300, went to 400, then came back to 300 Ghana cedis. Now people will take loans and invest in their farms, expecting a proper price. Now you go and take a loan and you invest. At the end of the day, the price is not too good. Then you find yourself in debt. Meanwhile, we say cashew is one of the biggest things after cocoa, but we are not paying enough attention to it.
More stories on the...
If you go to the 6th page of the daily guide, there's a very troubling security story here. It says the Amasaman Divisional Police Command has apprehended 2 men suspected to be armed robbers. They retrieved a pistol and ammunition in their possession upon their arrest. The suspects, identified as Ibrahim Mukhtari, 29, and Stephen Waja, 37, were arrested at Amomole in the West Municipality by a police team on patrol duty around 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday. So the police retrieved a Smith & Wesson pistol with number, and it's stated here, loaded with 15 rounds of ammunition, an extra magazine loaded with 12 rounds and ammunition, and 19 extra pieces of ammunition, 4 BB cartridges, some mobile phones, a car key, SIM card, and some cash. So
Kojo,
that's what the police are up to these days.
That's troubling. It's related to your cashew story, it's a poultry story from Kumasi. And Asokwa poultry farmers are seeking financial support after losing birds to unfavorable weather. Story from Citi Business News. It says that some poultry farmers in Asokwa municipality in Ashanti have urged the government and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to assist them access soft loans from Maslock and other financial institutions to sustain their business. The farmers say they may be forced to lay off workers if they do not get help immediately. Their appeal follows the death of birds, which they have blamed on the impact of the Harmattan season. According to the poultry farmers, they lost many of their birds to the Harmattan condition as the birds could not withstand the impact of the sudden weather change. This has been attributed to the farmers' inability to purchase drugs to protect their livestock during the season. And an interview with Citi Business News, Oseri Edu Farms at Atonsu, Dompoase, within the Asukwa municipality, confirmed the plight of poultry farmers as dead birds were seen in their numbers.
This is the second time we are reporting on the Asukwa poultry farmers. The last time we did, they were calling on the government for assistance to keep their farms going, and this is the follow-up to that particular story. Now, the issue to do with the Ofosuampofu trial is in some of the newspapers, and so if you don't mind, I can just...
Yes.
My lord, I stand by statement earlier rejected. This is according to a witness, Benjamin Oseampofu. Now, the story in the Chronicle, page 3, says the star witness in the criminal trial of the NDC chairman, Samuel Ofosuampofu, Mr. Benjamin Oseampofu, yesterday told the court hearing the case that he stands by the witness statement he gave to the police. He had earlier on January 29, 2020, told the same court that he did not know anything about the statement which was presented to the court by the Attorney General. His latest position followed a question posed to him by the counsel for Ofosuampofu, Tony Litha, whether he stands by the statement, to which he answered in the affirmative. Mr. Litha, during the cross-examination, asked, now, because you said during your testimony that you have not read what was sent to you to sign, would it be fair to you would it be fair to say to you that you do not stand by what you signed? To which the witness responded, "No, my lord."
Let me give you a wrap from the markets. The story says that FTSE 100 is down. In fact, the S&P 500 has also gone down. In fact, this is the worst day for the stock market since 1987. I don't know where you were at that time. Shares around the world have plummeted. This is the BBC. Shares around the world have plunged as investors fear the spread of the coronavirus will destroy economic growth, with government action insufficient to arrest the decline. The main UK index dropped more than 10% in its worst day since 1987. In the US, the Dow and the S&P 500 were also hit by their steepest daily fall since the same 1987. The declines came despite actions by the Federal Reserve and European Central Bank to ease financial strains, and the details are given. Now, I need to announce something. There's a funeral of a very important woman, Mrs. Charlotte Sarah Echampong, who was our English teacher in secondary school. She's taught hundreds of great men. And the program starts tonight, Friday the 13th at Presec 7 p.m. That's a night of tributes and hymns. In fact, when Citi FM started the Right Away competition, she was our first invigilator. She was our first examiner. Mrs. Echampong, we call her Mrs. Echampong. She's called Charlotte Sarah Echampong. There's a funeral service for her tomorrow, the 14th, at the State House at 7 a.m. And all Presecans, please, let's go and honor this great woman. She's influenced, I don't know. It's unbelievable. So may her soul rest in peace. Tonight there's a hymn thing for her, and then we are doing a funeral tomorrow. One of our best teachers. She died a few weeks ago. She was 73. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Charlie.